Did I say at the end of the last video that the next one would be finally the Making a Stargate sequel one? Well, of course that's going to be the main Thursday video that's still coming out in this following week. This right here is, as it's on a Saturday, is more of your bonus video, and as maybe you can guess from the title, this is the announcement that Book 2, the sequel to Gift of the Mancynn, the Archk of Angels, is coming out at the end of this month, just as how Gift of the Mancynn came out on the last Saturday of August, so too will this in November, so that's Saturday the 28th, when it will become available on paperback and ebook from Amazon. To mark the occasion, as was the case last time, I will again be doing a live stream that will probably last a couple of hours. Of course I will remind about closer to the time as well. But yes, I just wanted to let you know so you can mark your calendars to check out Book 2 when it's available, and maybe to check out Book 1 first if you haven't already. But of course, more than just telling you a date, I should provide you with more than that. This channel here has been about introducing you to this world of these books. If I am to perhaps sway you to read the actual canon material itself, then I should offer you maybe a little bit more as per is the nature of these videos. More specifically, as per the nature of the video I did for the Gift of the Mancynn, that overview video. So yes, here, long way around of saying that, let's just do a quick non-spoiler overview of what you've got to look forward to in this second instalment. So obviously we're picking up with our characters again. So we've got Philip Quint, who is kind of your British teen, kind of a bit of a nerdy kid, top in his class, and he is also a Mancynn. That is to say that he has had his genetic makeup altered by these higher dimensional beings so that he now has these abilities with which he can manipulate reality around him. This to the effect of him then being in a position to act as emissary for these higher beings, the Brethren Lords, led by Gryal, who you may recognise as the figure of death. Now of course that's their expectations for him, that he will, as I say, act as their emissary, but he kind of has doubts about this. He's made to question this supposed destiny for himself even more when he starts being met by another character, Noah Mason, in turn, who promises to reveal to him the truth about these Brethren Lords. Then he also has his other, more similarly aged companions who have now ended up swept up in this journey around the world, uncovering what kind of alien influences have potentially been lying under our noses this entire time. But following on from the specific end of Book 1, which of course the details for which I won't spoil, the characters are somewhat set back to square one. And you'll know what that means if you've read the first book, Gift of the Mancynn. And from this, Philip is left in a position where he's feeling alone, both kind of emotionally as kind of the fallout to the events of the previous book, but also quite literally because his other companions have now gone missing. They've seemingly been abducted. So to begin with, in the Archk of Angels, we have Philip trying to rescue said companions from a secret sea base over towards the Americas, so it's across the ocean first of all from there, and once they are indeed liberated, it becomes a kind of trek of them being on the run across America itself. Their only thing to follow at this point being a mysterious alien signal that they're detecting from the Rocky Mountains. Once there, having experienced some series of hardships along the way, they then become faced with the other main thread of this story, to do with the Archk of Angels itself. If you have seen some of these previous videos, or indeed read the first book, you may know that in terms of the context of the Ragnarok Chronicles, not that it has a context anywhere else, the Archk of Angels is this mysterious artefact that is the source of time itself, at least within the Alpha Realm, that being kind of the plane of existence that we on Earth exist upon. You also then have the entities, these beings that will call themselves gods, the ones that the Brethren Lords are pitting themselves against, rebelling against, these entities who choose to go by no other name, enlisting our characters to go on a quest for this Ark. The precise nature of their mission, though, they refuse to say. So all the while, as we end up being transported back through time itself to find the origin of time, our characters, with their entity guide, Ylem, are simultaneously obviously having to act to fulfill this mission, meanwhile always doubting and trying to question what is it that they're actually going to do once they find this thing. Are they actually on the right side? And along the way, because this is a very important artefact, we're also going to start meeting not only the entities, but yet other races that are involved in this multiversal conflict that has been taking place for eons. So if the first book, Gift of the Mancynn, was kind of your first introduction to this world, meet you with the main earthly characters and the Brethren Lords, just a couple of bits here and there, this second book, the sequel, we're now widening out our scope, opening the door to a lot more races, some good, some bad, some neutral, that they're going to encounter at different stages along this new expedition and this race against time to see who can find the Ark first. And then also along the way, we have fractures starting to appear within the different groups. So from Philip's perspective, his current mental state in terms of his loyalty either to the group versus the Brethren Lords, because they still have some hold over his mind from him being a Mancynn, that is starting to damage his relationships with those people around him. They in turn, these kids, they didn't ask to be on this current adventure. They were quickly swept up into this, and now they don't really have a choice but to carry along. Obviously, we want to make it pleasant to read, we want to like the characters, but have to acknowledge that the situation that they're in, the pressure that they're in, the stress that they're under, is leading more and more for them to potentially turn on each other, just to fall out with one another, as that's the only really outlet they have for the internal struggles that they're going through. Meanwhile, again, not to say any spoilers for the first book, but certain actions undertaken by certain Brethren Lords during those first events are now starting to be called back upon. The brothers are starting to mistrust brothers, and the whole organisation, the council, is soon having to decide which of basically two sides over a specific situation they're going to choose to be on, even though overall they're all still trying to reach the same goal. They're still trying to get there, but the infighting might now start to be their own main issue. There are of course then also going to be other big twists along the way to hopefully get you really hooked in there into the narrative. We're going to be setting up things that will then carry on through the remainder of this first set of 4, and overall, can I just hope in general it's going to be another enjoyable experience for you in its next chapters, next delving into this multiverse that I am building for you guys. So yeah, that's the Archk of Angels, Ragnarok Chronicles 2016.2. So 2016 is the year it's set in, and point 2 because second instalment of this sub-franchise of the overall Ragnarok Chronicles. That's going to be out on Amazon, on paperback and ebook, just like how Gift of the Mancynn was, which is currently in the descriptions. Then after this book comes out, that will be retroactively added into all the previous ones, as well as being put in future ones. That's the Saturday, the 28th of November. At least in terms of GMT, I'm probably going to be starting the live stream at around 12, like I did last time, probably 12 till 2, but we'll see how my personal circumstances check out, so I'll update you guys on that in the meantime. As before, in terms of the lore directory on my website, dominichodgson.com, any posts that are specifically about the events of the Archk of Angels itself won't be added until 1 month after the publication date, so that would end up being the 28th of December, but there will still be other pages also added for more non-spoilery aspects of certain things that are going to be showing up in the books. Also, because it just said that 1 month after release will be 28th of December, obviously Christmas is in between there. What I'm going to try to do is work out if I can do a kind of like book discounts or deals, like for a 2-book deal or something like that. So if you want to wait for that for Christmas as a gift, you could get both books at the same time, either for yourself or for someone else. If they like science fiction adventure books, maybe with some mythological ties, even if you don't manage that, still consider those books could make a nice Christmas present, again, for the reader in your life. And in the meantime, of course, we will still be having our normal Ragnarok Chronicles videos here, where you can learn even more about the mythology and the lore that's going on into these books around that books. That tailed off. Doesn't matter, you've got the information. Check it out. Saturday, 28th of November, 3rd time I said it, probably whatever. Ending the video here. Have a good rest of your weekend.